Ladies and gentlemen, it's your host with the most, Robert McClellan, at the top of the hour. 10 minutes late. Okay, 12 minutes late. Irregardless of the shameful facts that I'm always late anymore. There is a series here on the channel that will help you learn everything that you need to know about Cakewalk. It's called the Ultimate Cakewalk Tutorial Course. If you have not used Cakewalk yet, it's a free DAW, at least as of now. Unless something has changed that I don't know about. They wouldn't tell me anyway. So with that being said, if you have not used it, it's a great DAW to use. It's the one I've been using now for the past 20 years, I think. Yeah, it's been around 20 years now. We're going to be covering a little bit of that today as we go over this live Q&A. But if this is your first time here, this channel exists to simplify the complexities of the home studio and help you create professional sounding music in a less than professional space. The motto around here is that we can dream alone, we can even create alone, but together we can achieve so much more. Let's give a huge shout out to a sponsor of ours, good friends, Warren Hewitt at the ProMix Academy. Today's video is sponsored in part by the ProMix Academy. The ProMix Academy offers affordable courses from mentors, world-class engineers, Grammy winners, and multi-platinum selling producers. And with the resources available on the ProMix Academy, you can learn how to create radio-ready mixes from the comfort of your own home studio. Most of the courses also offer multi-tracks that you can then add to your portfolio and begin to build out your business. Follow the link in the description of this video to head on over to the ProMix Academy today and start learning the skills that are needed to take your hobby or your business to the next level. All right, so as we dive into today's Q&A, please let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to try to answer those the best that I can. If I cannot answer them, I will be happy to direct you in the direction of someone who can. So without further ado, let me bring up the questions here in my browser space so that I can actually see them. And one thing that we're going to do is we had a winner, by the way. It was Crackly Software that would have been the September song contest. So congratulations on that. And we're going to cover just a little bit of his song. And usually what I try to do is give a little bit more credence to the song first and foremost. Hey, Ben, nice to see you, buddy. 𝗧𝗵𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀 is in here. Mark George, good to see you. Joe, I'm not going to pronounce that last name right, so I'm just going to say Joe, Jody, and Karthik. Good to see all of you here in the chat. If you haven't said anything in the chat, let us know that you're here and where you're from. I would greatly appreciate that. So as I was getting ready to say, we are going to be looking at, Andre, what is up, brother? We are going to be looking at our DAW today. This is Cakewalk by BandLab. Here, I'll put myself in the upper right-hand corner. Make it a little bit easier to see. And as you can see here, I have just a flat, no nonsense, nothing added whatsoever. So there's no processing being done on anything for that matter. And I'm going to take the tracks that we got from Crackly Software. This was the song 𝗶𝗆. So if you was not around to hear this song in its original form where it actually won the contest, you can always go back and watch that video later. These have to all be extracted before I can click and drag them. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through here and I'm going to share. Now, he said that he exported these. And the way that I usually intend you to do this now is to export them either in a Cakewalk bundle file so that I have exactly where you left off and we can start from there. Or if you don't use Cakewalk, send me your mixed down tracks, like all of the effects baked in, but in multi-tracks, so I could show you maybe some things that I would do to improve the song if there is any improving that needs to be done. And while we're waiting for that, because it looks like it's taking a long time for whatever reason, I'm going to go over here and answer some questions. Let me get the YouTube chat highlight brought up here. Okay, so it looks like everything is freezing. That's awesome. For all I know, I could have just lost the live stream as well. I don't know. That's definitely not it. There it is. Okay, so the first question that came up here is, what is the best free VST plugin with all instruments? Man, there is a ton of them out there for me to tell you what is the best. You'd have to just search. I know that actually Crackly Software, he actually makes a lot of good free stuff. Our good friend Mark George is here. He says you can get the Contact Player for free on a site called Piano Book. You can get a load of free instruments. And then he brings up a really good point too. Spitfire Audio Labs has a lot of good stuff. So with that being said, Thompson, oh boy, good to see you, buddy. So with that being said, there's a lot of good free stuff out there, but what I can at least recommend that I do use is the free instruments that come with Cakewalk, the Spitfire Audio Labs. Those are, for the most part, free. I do have some Spitfire stuff that's not. But man, there is a ton. In fact, if you go to the Discord channel that we have, that Discord channel has a section where it's called free plugins. And if you get on there, you can actually look at that and find that there's a ton of free plugins as well as free VSTI instruments. Also, if you get in there and you start poking around, you're going to find people that are going to direct you in the right direction as well. Anytime that there's a free plugin or someone is announcing something that's going to be free for a limited amount of time, it usually pops up in the Discord channel. So you'll want to check that out. Okay, let's see if it lets me move these now. All right, so we're just going to drop these in here real quick. And what I did is I just opened up the folder, clicked and dragged over into the Skylight interface. Ah, coffee. It's what makes the world go round. And it looks like Cakewalk is frozen as well. My computer is getting incredibly slow. It could be the fact that I've nearly maxed out the hard drive, which is usually a bad thing to do. You want to at least keep it like 75% open and free and clear of anything. So this is where we're standing now. I'm going to hit Shift F, which will bring all of that into view like it should be. Let's go ahead and close this. And we'll just wait for that to, we'll just give that a minute there. Give it a nice minute to kind of chill out for a second. And while we're doing that, I see Mark George had asked a question and then he had retracted that question. And basically it was about the new Cakewalk beta version. Have I tried it? I have not. Which is the best free drum sampler for Cakewalk? Duga Daniel says. That's a good question. I love Addictive Drums too. It's not really a drum sampler per se, as it is more of an actual VSTI instrument, but it is sampled drums, but it does an amazing job of it. There's also some great free, like Steven Slate has a free version of Steven Slate drums. There are, there's a ton of them out there. So, you can ask any question you'd like to know. Link the Great, like the name, by the way, However, one thing that I would make mention of, let's make sure that I'm on the right screen here. Yeah. One thing that I would make mention of is within Cakewalk, you actually do have this little area. Where's it at? Matrix view, which you can kind of use like a sequencer or a sampler. And then you have also the step sequencer, which is not visible now because I don't have a MIDI track highlighted. But if I did, you could bring up the step sequencer, and that is actually like a good drum sampler. If you have some good samples that you want to load into that, you can do it that way. So it's very cool. All right. So hopefully that answered the question about the questions. Link. All right. Disc Jedi or DJP has some PC issues, so he'll be watching from his phone. I'm sorry to hear that, man. It seems like it's across the board right now. Have you looked at the new beta sonar? I have not. In fact, I probably need to. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to do so. In fact, I might hop over there now and just, I mean, that's what these live things are for, right? I'll just hop over there real quick and check it out. See if it's, I don't know, is it still, they haven't actually released it yet, have they? No, it's still coming soon. So if you look at their website, oops. Yeah, it still says it's coming soon. It's not here yet. The Cakewalk Next is sort of a, I think it's like a BandLab version. And then Cakewalk Sonar, which is what it used to be called, looks like it's still coming soon. So I've joined the mailing list for, you know, being able to get updates on when it was going to be released and all this. And I still have yet to see. Yeah, it's not, it's no bueno. I'd like to know more about it, but it looks like they're going to be releasing a bunch of the old stuff that they did have before, as well as some of those old studio instruments. So you should have like the SDI drums too. That's going to be cool. So yeah. Go back to this now. Okay. So let's head back up here and check this out. And we will take a look at the questions real quickly. So the next question that came up is, do you use a plugin to get your separate tracks of famous songs? Which one? There is a great program out there that's called 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Probably one of the best that I've used. However, I did just do a review on one that's called Songmaster Pro that does a really good job and also gives you more information. So it gives you a metronome, it gives you the key changes, it gives you the various parts, like the AI just goes through there and gives you a bunch of information to where it's kind of, in my personal opinion, like, and there's no monthly fees for how many times you can use it. So you buy it once. I think it's probably even better than 𝗧𝗵𝗲 in that sense, but 𝗧𝗵𝗲 also has a mobile app. Those are a couple of apps that you can use to do that with, but all of the previous videos that I did have on my channel were the actual raw studio tracks from the studios where they were recorded in. That's what made them so popular. All right, so let's give this a listen real quick. This is, and we'll still be answering questions, but we're going to go ahead and pop in here and check this out real quick. So this is our good friend Crackly Software had won the September Song Contest with this song here. And we're going to kind of take a look at it and see what we could do to improve upon it, if anything. Now, it may take some balancing of levels here, but Okay, so one of the first things that I pick up on is, let's see if it's, I think it's this sound. I'm gonna have to find out which sound it is. Yep, this one right here. Okay, so a lot of times when you have a stereo track like this, it's an awesome sound. It's a great little bed that plays throughout the entirety of the song. One way that you can give it more depth and a little bit more movement, a little bit more interest to, you know, those that will be listening, is to add like a tremolo or some kind of a panning effect. I'm going to go with, this is the problem of having way too much stuff. It's like, what am I going to choose here? Let's go with something from 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗧𝗵𝗲. They've been my favorite here as of late. I've been using them for everything. Way better than waves. I did that. So this is a really cool little effect. This is a 𝗧𝗵𝗲 effect. So if we put a 𝗧𝗵𝗲 on this, now it is changing the sound of it just a bit, but let's mess with it. We could probably get a better sound from it. Let's go through some of the presets actually. Okay, right there. Now, as you can see, what that's doing is, if you look at the meter right here, you'll notice, watch this meter, you're going to notice that it's going to be, see how it's going from right to left? That's the movement that I'm talking about. Now, this might be just a bit too much. It might be kind of like, there we go. Very cool. So what we see here is, like I said, just adding a little bit of movement can really help to improve the way that it translates in a mix. Here's another one, and this will be completely free. I love the 𝗧𝗵𝗲 surround. And there's one in here specifically. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. Special effects roundabout. Check this out. Now, yet again, this is like almost too much. Let's try a simple. There we go. Now that right there would probably be perfect in context with the mix. It's going to add movement. Listen. And I might actually speed it up. So I'm going to bring that path time up a little bit. Or actually, I guess it would be down. Very cool. So that's a great way to, that's one of the first things that I heard there. Not really a mixing thing. It's just one of those things where, I mean, it is a mixing thing, but it's not like a EQ thing or a compression thing. It's like just a stylistic choice, but taking something where it's kind of like a drone in the background and giving it that little bit of movement from side to side, or even putting a chorus on that might even help it to widen up a little bit and give it that, little bit of movement. And that's really all I'm looking for, is just the movement. So that's just a quick demonstration of that. I'm trying to think, trying to think of a good chorus plugin. I could probably, honestly, I could use a 𝗧𝗵𝗲 and probably do a really good job with it. There's been 3 ads pop up already. Oh my goodness. That's not cool. Okay, so this is just amp and cabinet. That's not going to work right. That's the Electrum core. I need the actual Electrum. Yeah, so see, we can use one of these stomp boxes here. Let me turn the amp and the cabinet off, the reverb. Put some modulation in there. Definitely don't want that in there. That didn't sound right. Anyway, as you can see, we could get lost in the weeds here for hours. So that's the first thing that we'll cover, because it's the first thing that kind of jumped out at me, and then I'm going to come back over here and try to answer some questions, because we could get caught in the weeds on that for hours, it would seem like. Okay, so where did I leave off at? Right here. Okay. Joe D wants to know, is there an answer for unasked questions? You know, there is. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. That's the unasked questions. What genre are you delving in? Says Link the Great. So this genre is, I would say, would be more electronic based music, not necessarily like dubstep or nothing like that, but it's synth style music. Almost like 80s synth pop, kind of. Yeah. 𝗂𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗵𝗲. I'm just going to call him Andre V, because I'm horrible with names, and every time I try, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and let you know exactly how to do this, Andre. So I'm going to go up here to the file, and I'm going to go up here to, let me zoom in so to make it easier to see. So file, save as, and then here is the projects, and I'll just simply save the file name here. Easy peasy. That's how you rename a project. And sometimes if you want to save it as a different project, like you don't want to destroy the work that you've already started, you can always go back and do a save as. That's a great way to sort of save things in that sense. All right, so I've lost track of my mouse. This is cool. I did this the other day. Okay, I'm going to have to lose track of it. That's not cool. I can't tell which one I'm hovering over. Okay. Is the ask me anything for this system you're using now only, or any general home recording questions? Yes. Anything home recording. It doesn't even have to be about recording at all. It can be literally anything. So ask away, brother. Which headphones would you recommend for mixing and production? So for mixing, the ones that I'm wearing right now, These are Audio-Technica ATH-500Xs, I believe. I've got two different pairs, so I need to make sure. Yeah, AD-500X ATH. They're the Air brand, and they are open back. So the beauty of open back headphones is that they allow bass frequencies to escape the cones as you're listening, so you don't get bass buildup and you don't over exaggerate bass or reverb frequencies. It's really great for mixing. Now for tracking, you might want something closed backed, but I would definitely recommend these. And you can get them at Sweetwater. I would appreciate if you would use my Sweetwater affiliate link as well. Sorry, I don't know where these obnoxious hiccups keep coming from. And I also don't know where my mouse went, and it's upsetting me thoroughly. And I can't remember how I got it back the other day. It's like I hit something, but I don't know what I hit. And it made it come back. Yep, that didn't work. Okay, well. Well, that's a bummer. Yeah, it definitely has just disappeared. Now I'm going to have to blindly click on things and hope I'm clicking in the right place. Okay. Mark George says, are you working on any new songs right now? Actually, yes, I am. First time in forever, but yes, I am. I have spent the last probably 6 to 7 years. I was doing really good, releasing songs like crazy, sometimes 2 and 3 songs a year, even with a full-time job and doing this on the side. I think the most I released was 4 in a year. And those were songs that I had done everything on myself. So it was a very time consuming. It's so much easier and faster if you can send your song off to someone else with some creative input that has the ability to record. Thankfully, we have a great group within the Discord group. Used to be VIP members back when we had a paid service, and they're called the HSS session players, or the Mockingbird Studio session players, whichever one I can't remember the name of it, but basically it's a bunch of awesome people that you send out your track and they'll be like, hey, I want to lay some drums down. I want to lay a bass down. I want to play some guitar on it. And you get back, like, there's some stuff you can keep, some stuff you had to kind of, I got to throw that out. But for the most part, it was just, you would send a song out, get all kinds of ideas back, and it would just sound absolutely amazing. So in the last 2 years, though, where I was really hitting heavy on the website, on setting up the VIP membership and creating tutorial videos, and I was doing all this stuff to help other people. We were having some crazy stuff like rocket fuel bundles and mastering the mix seminars online. And I spent so much time helping others with their music that my own music just got left on the back burner. So much so that if you don't use it, you lose it. And so now it's been a struggle for me to even get back on that bandwagon of trying to write and release my own music again. It's kind of crazy. But I am working currently on a song right now. I'm taking my time with it, though, because it's a very delicate song. And yeah, I'm looking forward to releasing one, though. So Clayton Von Kluge, he says, how can I record audio with the video on Windows 10 PC using my Machine MK3? That would probably be something like OBS, which is what I'm using now to stream. It's what allows me to have the questions up on the screen. It's what allows me to switch cameras, camera angles. It allows me to do all kinds of cool stuff. I can even, switch over to this that reminds you to like and subscribe. Hey, and click on the bell icon just so you'll be notified every time we go live. If you haven't checked out the podcast that I haven't released an episode on since February, go and check that out. There's a backlog there of still some really good interviews, things like that. I have yet to put the interview with me and Kagan. I have yet to put our interview up about the laptops. That's going to be, we're going to probably have a follow-up about that as well, because he's got lots of ideas and he wants to clarify some things that he didn't clarify before. So using something like OBS to run through your computer, I think would definitely be a good way to do that. It's helpful to use a mixer for your audio. Like right now I'm using the Rodecaster Pro. It allows me to have these cool sound effects. It allows me to have different volume levels for up to 4 different tracks. It also allows me to have a volume for incoming phone calls, for Bluetooth, and even for the PC that I'm listening to right now. So super easy. So yeah. Do you think the Afrobeats genre probably has the sufficient musical elements to be here to stay as a genre, just like reggae? Man, I think so. I think there's a lot of artists. Most of them are sort of underground, behind the scenes kind of things. But honestly, those are the kind that people really gravitate to, especially nowadays when people are getting sick of the Taylor Swifts of America that are, and some of these stars who, I think it was Adele maybe, that was selling like $30,000 a ticket for one ticket to one show. I mean, while I'm there, Adele might better be like feeding me lunch and signing every article of clothing that I have so that I can make my money back. I mean, there needs to be something to be said about that. But as far as like Afrobeats, I don't see that going anywhere. It's so grassroots and so organic that I feel like it's in a world all of its own. And there's a lot of people that, even in mainstream music, that are gravitating to that genre. So yeah, I would definitely say it's here to stay. I have Sony 7506, then got SonarWorks headphone program to flatten the signal to neutral. That's a good game plan. I have SonarWorks myself, and it works. It works. So Clayton is following up on his previous question. He says, I want to record audio with the video internally instead of over air. Gotcha. So you can do that with the Rodecaster Pro. It has a SD slot in the back of it where you can do that, or you can actually record on OBS. It will record internally to a folder that you set it to as well. Big shout out to Crackly Software, who apparently has released a new album. I think I actually heard something about that. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I am so sorry about the ad pop-ups. I'm not sure what's happening there, because I don't see them on my end, obviously. And I have it set to where YouTube will insert ads, but it's based off of what they think that the ad should be placed in, where they should be placed. Like, I don't tell them how many that they can place in. And so that's kind of disheartening to know that there's that many being placed in there so far. So sorry about that. Okay. The good old internet rabbit holes. Okay, I had Cakewalk. I had Cakewalk through BandLab. It's an OK DAW for free, but the instrument latency was killing me. I've heard that. But there are a lot of other people that have no issues with that whatsoever, so. Is that significant? Okay. I'm still not seeing. Please, can everyone consider hitting the like button? Thank you so much for reminding everyone. Yes, someone else said OBS. Okay, good deal. Looks like we got another shout out for Moraine's daughter, 𝗧𝗶𝗃. Shout out to 𝗧𝗃 for watching. It's so cool to think that kids are tuning in and watching this channel. And I'm so glad that it is a kid-friendly place that they can tune in and watch. And we love the next generation, those young people that are going to rise up and become the next musicians. You guys are awesome. If I get to liking hanging out here, I'll get you some numbers if possible. My Twitter has 5K and Instagram has 1,700 or so. Oh, sweet. Very cool. All right. Main setback was my laptop needs battery and slight repair. I keep feeling like I'm missing stuff here. Okay, I do about 1 song a month. Okay, any tips? Okay, here we go. Any tips for, this is 36 the Ghost, says, any tips for mixing with open headphones? There is no bass and I always add too much compared to the speakers. I prefer mixing on open headphones because the lack of bass. I don't, generally speaking, I don't use a lot of bass, but if you're mixing a genre like rap, hip hop, R&B, something like that, or even some jazz, it's going to be kind of hit or miss regardless, unless you're using something like SonarWorks or a sub pack. I know my good friend, I can't even remember his name. What is that guy's name? The Mix Academy. David Glenn. He uses a sub pack, really likes that. So well, thank you so much, Clayton. Appreciate that. Strike the like, he says. How much or little should someone like yourself add or subtract, change an arrangement, or should one just mix it as they get it with zero artistic contributions? Man, that's a tough question because I think every project is just a little bit different. So for me, it's sort of a give and take. Like there's some songs that I've written where I'm mixing it as I go and I'm adding stuff as I go because I'm hearing it on the fly and I'm like, ooh, this would sound good right there. There's other songs where there might be sparsely populated and they don't need as much. Then there's other songs where it sort of happens all at once in the writing process. So I sit down, I write the song with a guitar usually. And as I'm writing the song, I'm like, in my head, I'm already going, okay, boom, I want something done here. I want some instruments to drop out here. I want this to happen here. So every time I sit down, I think it's a little bit different. And I think, honestly, that's what keeps it kind of fun. So there's that. Too broke to afford a computer that will run my projects. I totally get that. I would definitely go back and check out my recent interview with Kagan from Creative Devices. I guarantee you he can hook you up with an affordable laptop that's going to be able to do that. Oh, and he's here in the chat. Creative Devices is here in the chat. Cool. Uh-oh. He caught me giving him a shout out. Yeah. Look him up. You're gonna thank me later. So Joe D wants to know, if you are paid to mix, the producer should have done most of the artistic side. If you're adding stuff, then make sure you're getting paid more to be a producer on the track. Yeah, that's burned me a time or two. So definitely want to good wisdom right there. What's your favorite, easiest using music program? Cakewalk by BandLab, hands down. Marwin. Okay. I'm going to forget that again. Sorry. I try. So Link the Great, just trying to help. I'm planning on getting a loan and just trying to buy everything I need at once for home recording. This, Clayton, listen, you're a newfound friend on here. You've probably never heard what I'm about ready to say on any other channel, because they're going to try to sell you stuff. They have companies to please. I don't have that. And well, to a certain extent, I have some companies that I'm working with because it's easy for me to sell their products, because I just have, generally speaking, I've used them and I know that they're the right thing. And I mainly partner with companies that I know are going to help individuals like myself and like you who have budgets. What I would say is I would probably put off getting a huge loan to buy everything you need for mixing or for producing or making music. And the reason why I'm saying this, everything, is because what happens is, what you're going to find is you're going to buy what you need based off of what you've researched. There's nothing wrong with research. You need to do it. There's tons of it. With that being said, though, what has a tendency to happen is you can kind of get in over your head. So you buy a mic, an interface, a laptop, or a desktop. You start to record, you don't get the sound that you want. Immediately you're like, oh, it's got to be my sound. It's got to be my microphone. It's got to be my interface. And so you get going down this rabbit hole of, well, I can't get the sound that I want because it's this, this, and this. What happens is you end up sinking a lot of money into this stuff, when in all actuality, you could take $300. Let's say, for instance, you've already got a decent laptop or a computer. You could even do this for less than $300 nowadays. Let's say you need a laptop. Actually, let's go back, because I think you were saying that maybe the laptop was an issue too. So let's say you need a laptop. So you need a decent laptop and you need a good interface and you need some plugins. Really, that's pretty much all you need to start out with. So if you get yourself a decent laptop, and I know that Creative Devices, who is here in the chat, can definitely help you with that. We're talking like half the price of what you would get from a big box store. He's built these with audio in mind. He's an audio lover himself. It's not like the Sweetwater creative things that are like an it's nuts how much they are. So you can get his laptops for half the price, get you a good interface for like $150, if you're using Cakewalk by BandLab, it comes with a ton of free, well, honestly, let's just be honest here. Every DAW comes with a ton of free plugins that are doing just great on their own. Like literally, plugin companies are, to me, they're kind of like the companies that build lures for fishermen. The lures that are built in these companies are for the fishermen more than they are for the fish. Chances are, if you throw the right lure in the right place at the right time of the year, you're going to catch a fish regardless of what color it is, how it looks, how it smells, what it tastes like. A lot of this stuff is just snake oil. So what I'm getting at here is, if you can just use your stock plugins to get good and use your interface and good mic placement, getting a good source going in and learning how to do that on a budget is going to pay off dividends, so that whenever you can sink a little bit of money into it, then you can go, oh, wow, this is what I actually need, not what someone else is telling me that I need. This is what I actually need, not what I want based off of what I've researched. So be very careful, just like running out and getting a loan and buying a bunch of stuff that you may or may not even use. And then you get discouraged. And the next thing you know, you fall flat on your face because you haven't got the sound that you wanted. So I know this is not popular. If you get on most channels, they're going to say, oh yeah, you need this company's plugins because they're affiliated with that company. You need this, this interface. And by the way, use my link that I'm affiliated with them to buy it. Now, granted, I use affiliates. I'm a 𝗧𝗵𝗲 affiliate. I use 𝗪𝗚 𝗧𝗵𝗲 a lot. I love their products. They have supported this channel ever since I was 500 subscribers. Before I even had a following, they were sending me free plugins because they appreciated my work. That's what makes me love a company. When they're willing to reach out to even the little guys and say, hey, we really love what you're doing. We want to help you out. Those are awesome people. Not to mention, I've talked to some of the guys that are working behind the scenes. Dave Kersner is a great example of that. He's worked on a lot of the instruments, the VSTI instruments, the Samplotron, to the Synctronic strings, the most recent piano verse. He was working on that. Every one of them are stellar, but they are building these with the end goal of helping people out and not trying to, sell people down the river. So I know this is a really long answer to a somewhat short question, but I'm just hoping to kind of talk you off the ledge of getting into this rabbit hole of just buying stuff to get your sound, when in all actuality, 9 times out of 10, it comes down to mic placement, to your converters. Like one of the individuals, I believe it was a link here, just said that he has a Focusrite. That's a perfect interface, and they're affordable. They do an excellent job. In fact, there's not a lot of interfaces on the market right now that are bad. They all record in 24-bit, 4800 kilohertz or 41.1, whatever it might be that you want to record in, but they all record in 24 bits, and they get just as good fidelity as anything else out there. And here's the thing. I'm going on this tangent. Why not? Here's the thing. If we go back 20, 30 years ago, they were recording through an analog desk that had intrinsically built into it noise. And it would raise the noise floor even. And then with that, noise that was built in there, they were continually trying to find ways to mitigate that noise. How do we get rid of this noise? Furthermore, they were recording in 16-bit. There was no 24-bit at that time. So with that being said, like, we have at our fingertips way better than what they had. It was just the talent, mic placement, proper EQ and compression. It's just like how you use the tools that you have. You can give a hammer to a guy that's built houses all of his life and say, here, build me a barn. He's going to build it faster. It's going to be more sturdy. He knows all of the tricks of the trade to make that thing look phenomenal when it's all said and done. You give that same hammer to an amateur and say, here, build me a barn. You might be in for a run for your money, because you're not even going to really know what's going on. It may not even look like a barn when it's done. The point that I'm getting at is, invest your money wisely and don't get in debt for your dreams, so that you can create, the music of your dreams on, this incredibly exaggerated price tag gear that at the end of the day is not going to get you anywhere closer to your end result. It literally is just going to be good mic placement, good performances, and recorded on a halfway decent microphone, recorded in a halfway decent, well-treated room. It doesn't even have to be well-treated for that matter. I mean, look at this room that I'm in right now. I've recorded acoustic guitar. I've recorded vocals in this room, and I literally have the trap that I've built up here, and then the one on the wall, and I have the same thing on the opposite side of the wall. That's it. That's the only treatment I have. And of course, I guess you could count this wood here on the wall if you want to get, into the weeds. I have a curtain up, So seriously though, you would be so much better just taking the time to learn the gear that you've got, and you're going to be light years ahead. Whenever you get to that point though, where you can drop a little bit of money, you're going to know what you need. So, all right, I'm going to get off that tangent now, because I could be here for even more hours. Okay. Awesome. Looks like he's going to be hooking up with Creative Devices. You're not going to be disappointed. So Clayton, I do actually still do consultations. It is pricey by some people's standards. I do charge $25 for 30 minutes or $50 for an hour. But that will get you an hour of my time. We'll usually hop on like a Skype call or something like that, and we can talk through any problems you might have or just talk. But I do have to charge for that because there for a long time I was doing it without getting paid, and I was, man alive, I had no time. Awesome. You guys are connecting. That's good. Oh, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. GarageBand, there is something to be said about that. Big thank you to Robert for showing off the 𝗿𝗂𝗀 plugin. That's free right now, by the way. You want to, please go and check that out. Okay. Sorry, my wife was texting me and wanted to make sure it wasn't super important. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kagan. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you, Mark, for helping out with those links too. That's greatly appreciated. 𝗿𝗂𝗀 will only work till the end of the month or November. The final version is out soon. The beta is going away. Oh, man. I'll just have to reach out to him and tell him I'll give him a review. Hey, no problem, man. Okay, so Clayton also says 24 bits is the norm, correct? Yes. As of right now, in the era that we're living in, 24-bit is the norm. And here's what's crazy. We're recording things at higher fidelity and higher bit rates, higher sample rates, and then we're mixing it down onto an album. I mean, so you'll have that. 𝗧𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗃 has a good point here. CDs are actually in 16-bit. And most of the CDs that we have in our closets or in our cars, we still like listening to them. So, what do you think of Sweetwater and Musician's Friend as companies? So Musician's Friend is okay. If you're going to go Sweetwater, though, if you're wanting something, Sweetwater is the way. Now, this is why, yet again, I'm an affiliate, but this is why I'm an affiliate. I don't just take any company that comes to me and says, okay, I'm going to be an affiliate with you and I'm going to sell your products. They have to line up with my core values, my belief systems, so to speak. And they have to be a good value for those like you and me, the average Joe, okay? Or the average Clayton in this instance. Wow. So Sweetwater is above and beyond. In the department of customer service, you'll not find a better. In the department of having what you need in stock, you won't find better. And I'm sorry about these hiccups. They keep coming and going. In the department of, prices, you're really not going to find better. And if you have to, there is what's called Sweet Care, I believe, or Sweet Pay or something like that, where you can get things at a drastically reduced price by just paying over the course of but please, if you can't afford it, save up your money, buy it outright. You may not even need it. But with that being said, yes, Sweetwater, out of the two of those, hands down. Musician's Friend is still respectable company, but as soon as I started using Sweetwater, I'm never going back. And that's why whenever I post a link to something where maybe it's a microphone that I'm recommending, I use a Sweetwater affiliate link because yes, I'm going to get like I think it's like a 6% commission off of that sale, but it's also because I know that whenever I recommend this to a person, they are going to, they are going to get the most value possible at the best price possible. They're going to get good customer service. They're going to get good return service if they have to return the item. Like, I've never had a problem with Sweetwater, ever. Not just here in my professional space here, but even before I became, the YouTube guy, and also at our church. Sweetwater has come through every single time. I can remember, actually, there was a 10,000 subscriber. I've told this story before, so bear with me, those of you that have heard it, but I had a 10,000 subscriber celebration coming up, and Warren Hewart of the ProMix Academy was going to come on. I was going to interview him. It was going to be super fun. The day before this, a week before this happens, my Rodecaster Pro just crapped out on me. And this is like the main unit that I use for doing Skype calls and stuff like that. It's what gives me the ability to have like a laugh track or crowd cheers, or, and that's sort of my persona. That's what I do. I like to have fun on my show, especially when I'm interviewing folks. And I called Rode and I got the runaround. They did the runaround for up to like 4 days. 3 of those days I never even heard from them. The people that made it. Now, I got it from Sweetwater. Why I didn't just call Sweetwater to begin with, I don't know. I was just thinking, well, Rode made it. Maybe they'll give me, a better, headway time. And I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. Needless to say, I called Sweetwater. The very next day, I had a brand new unit sitting on my porch. They paid for next day air, or not next day air because I live close enough, but they paid for next day shipping service. Got it to my door, even though they hadn't received the other unit yet, just to make sure that my show was going to go over without a hitch. That's the kind of people that I'm willing to share and to link up with, to have affiliates with. Anywho, we got William Scott up in here. I believe he's a first timer. Let's give him a round of applause. As well as Ryan Boyce. Okay, awesome advice. William Scott. That sounds really familiar. Clayton Von Kluge, once again, he says, I hate to pressure a stranger, but I'm really into music recording. That's not a bad price, Robert. Yeah, no problem. If you want to set that up, just send me an email to homestudiosimplified@gmail.com and we can sit down and discuss. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 is in the house. Good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you in a while. I mean, I have, but it's been crazy. You know this. Ryan Boyce said, my sister asked me to mix her song. Many of her vocals were recorded in a church sanctuary. How do add reverb on top of this? The natural reverb is not quite enough. Simply just slap a reverb plugin on there and blend it to taste. Now, one thing that I would say when it comes to reverb, I would definitely try and use sends. What I mean by that is, so like, let's say I have a bus. Actually, let me remove your comment here just for a minute so I can, and here comes a train. So if you guys hear a train, my apologies. Down here in this console view, let me just make this bigger to make it easier to see. I'm going to insert a stereo bus. Okay. And it says bus D. I'm going to call this reverb. I'm going to misspell it because I'm in a hurry to type that. And then I'm going to say, okay, that's my reverb bus. And I'm going to slap a reverb on that bus. Okay. And as of lately, believe it or not, one of my favorite reverbs has been the ROM reverb from Native Instruments. This is just an awesome reverb all the way around. And so let's say I want to go with a preset 𝗬𝗓 here. And let's say I want to send this sort of bed here to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the track, create a send. I'm going to send that to the reverb. Now, why would I do this as opposed to putting the reverb plugin on the track itself? Because I'm going to want to add reverb to other things. So when I do that, DJ Big Red 81 is in the house. Sorry, guys. We have a legend in the chat. So good to see you, DJ. So instead of inserting 17 different reverb plugins on 17 different tracks, I can create one reverb track and then just send them all to that reverb track at varying levels. And because they're all sort of riding off of that same reverb, it's going to sound more cohesive. Now, there might be times when I add a different reverb to something to get it to really stand out. Or maybe I want a larger reverb or something like that. I can either create another reverb bus, or I can just slap, like having one instance of a plugin somewhere and then versus 17 is a huge difference. So in this case, I might send this to this reverb. So this is how it sounds now. I'm going to slowly increase that. Okay, like right there. That's a good point to have it at. So I'm literally sending it to the reverb that's on this bus right here. So if I solo it, this is all the reverb is adding right here. Super cool, right? Lots of fun there. So yes, creating a reverb bus is going to be like crazy good for you. All right. Let's see, where am I at? If I have in some way, shape, or form missed something. Oh no, Sweetwater does not deliver in the country. Oh, you're from, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are from Canada, I believe. So that's the one downside to reverb, is they don't ship everywhere. So yeah, Canada. Okay. Nail on the head. Okay. I'm not really seeing any other questions as of right now. Case in point. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. We could probably have this chat fill up with people who have used Sweetwater and had nothing but good to say about them. Okay, trains are cool. 𝗵𝗲 is pretty okay too. Yeah, I'm with you on the Native Instruments stuff. The MK3, I've got this huge thing with all the pads and the stuff, and I'm really trying to learn how to use this thing, and it's not even. The Woke Breaker says, I'm not even an audio guy, but love this channel. That's awesome. Glad that you're here, by the way. Learning a lot. Good deal. Everyone should ship internationally, says Creative Devices. Is it considered improper to use sidechain compression on the background music to make vocals more prominent in the mix? So generally speaking, like if it's a 2-track, like say you're mixing a rap track and they send you the vocals and the beat, that's where that can come in handy because it's simply just 2 tracks. But if you are turning down an entire mix on the mix bus, you're going to cause pumping. It's going to sound weird. There's ways that you can still do that within the mix, but yeah. So apparently Cakewalk Next Beta is available. I have not tried it yet. I'm a little scared. So not going to lie, a little scared. I don't know if it's going to be beneficial or not. So anywho, it does look like we have answered, for the most part at least, most of the questions. I'm going to hop back over to the mix now and just kind of have a little bit of fun with this, because one of the things that immediately I heard too in this was this female vocal. I'm going to show you real quickly how I would fix this. High pass filter at 91. I'll just zoom in here so you can kind of see me work real quick. Okay, you're going to see me work here.
Try to pass the time and pass it with no mind. Suppose you pass it over now. Inspiration fails me, motivation missing. Cannot find the words to say. Try.
Okay, just with a little bit of EQ. Here's before. Muffled nasally, and here we go. Much better. Okay, let's add some console emulation. We're gonna go to A type.
The problem now? Why is my voice so lost? Is it the time to change? Now that my song is in the right key, no one was involved in making all this noise. Never has a person been a part of this. That is the problem now. It is my voice so lost. Now is the time to change. The time to change the tone that is not reality. Reality with technology. In the time of this duplicity.
Very cool. So let me give you a little sneak peek here. I think we've covered a little bit on this song. Now I can't do like I used to. What would happen is if you won the the song contest, I would actually mix the song live here for everyone to see. I simply could not do that. My time will not allow me to do so. But what I would like to show you is, I don't know if there's a lot of individuals here in the chat who are rap fans, but I would like to show you a song that I actually have been featured on. I'm not a rap artist, but when I was growing up, I had a huge palette of musical tastes, everything from, Elvis to Bob Seger to Rush was like one of my favorite bands growing up. I've done a ton and listened to a ton of stuff. Bluegrass, jazz, Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, for crying out loud. James Galloway, all the way into like Marilyn Manson, Korn, Pantera, Sepultura. And then on the other side, there was like Tupac, there was Coolio, there was Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. So like everything was on my palette. I never like really stuck with one thing. So I was able to sort of, regardless of what the genre was calling for, like if we were playing out somewhere, I could usually kind of fake my way through it. Well, this individual had sent me a song he was working on, and he said, I just don't have a last verse yet. I'm waiting for an individual to come through. And if you've never worked with a rap artist, they call them features. So they'll have like a beat that usually the rap artist creates or they buy. Then they'll lay down their bars, as they call them. And then they'll have another feature where maybe that person will do like a few bars, and then based off of how the song plays out. So kind of cool. I was like, actually I could do the last verse for you. And this dude like literally laughed at me. He's like, yeah, okay. You're not a rapper. And I'm not. But when I sent him back what I had done, him and his wife both were like, I was not expecting that out of you. So I'll give you a quick sneak peek here of this song. I don't think he would mind at all because I am featured in it, so I can do that. It's not officially released yet, so you guys are getting a sneak peek behind the scenes here. And this is revision 4, so it's not even officially like reached its revision stage yet, but check this out.
Praise the Lord that I was born into a Christian home with 2 loving parents who never left me alone. I had security and love and was shown the right model for a family life, so the seeds were sown. I was exposed to the Lord from the start. My mama told me to invite Jesus into my heart. Always said our prayers before she tucked me in. I was instructed to be righteous instead of lead a life of sin. We read the Bible every Sunday at church and was taught before we eat we need to thank God first. And when we got to school we stood for the national anthem and recited the Lord's Prayer after. It was a different world back then, a better time. I wish I could go back and live in that world again, when you could express your faith in public and not offend your neighbor, when you could count on strangers to help you as a friend. We shared the same values as a culture. Our people united under God despite race, creed, or color. Where you were judged on merit by the content of your character, not your group identity based on traits of the exterior. But then it all started changing. I remember the day the teacher said no more praying in school. We don't want to offend those who don't share the same views. And that's the day the name Jesus became taboo.
They say that we can't praise the Lord. They say that we can't say no more. Say no more, say no more. Say what are we gonna do? See his name is taboo. It's taboo, say it's taboo. Yeah.
Grew up in the church. Mom and pops always taught me to keep the Lord first. Wasn't until I was about 17 that the seed that they planted started to grow in me. Verses in my memory while I tried to fight the enemy. Caution signs did surround me while the friends I was cool with dropped from his presence. Started to make sense when I got to college. Smoking, dro, and drinking on the low was how people cope with stuff inside. The God topic was looked at as dumb and they throw comments. Started switching up, reading Richard Dawkins nonsense. Numb to his presence, pray that they would study his word.
They say that we can't praise the Lord. They say that we can't say no more.
Here's my feature.
Say no more, say no more. Say what are we gonna do? See his name is taboo. It's taboo, say it's taboo.
As a child I was jaded, cut it off to Sunday school, but in my teens my love had faded. I began to act a fool, you see my parents backslid. Took away the preacher's voice. Without a firm foundation you can't make a godly choice. 13, slinging green, alcoholic on the scene. Graduated to the big leagues, started dropping LSD. Fast forward 21 and left empty inside. Adolescent disappointments and attempted suicide. Overdose, comatose, popping pills to numb the pain. Losing friends to the grave, taking oaths to make a change. All the while still the same, double-minded, deranged. If this is life we're living, yo, I've lived my life in vain. But wait, back up, let's not give the devil all the glory, cause by the grace of God, that's not the end of the story. Though they wrote me off as dead, and though they said I'd never change, they clearly underestimated the God of empty graves. Once dead, twice alive, covered by the blood of Christ, set free, I've been redeemed, no more shackles holding me. I was seeking, heart was bleeding, they were preaching, he was reaching, God was speaking, promise keeping, here to stay, yo, I'm not leaving. Fire falling, God was calling, now I'm running, I'm not crawling, throwing hands, but I'm not falling. With the devil, I be balling. If he did it for me, he can do it for you. Just reach out and lay hold on the faith that's become taboo.
They say that we can't praise the Lord. They say that we can't serve no more. They serve no more, serve no more. They say, what are we gonna do? See, his name is taboo. It's taboo, it's taboo. Yeah.
That's not a feature. You took the song over. Oh, man. Well, thank you guys for bearing with me on that. So DJ keeps, like, he's not going to let this fall, of course. I wouldn't. He's not going to let it go. I wouldn't expect anything else. So he's wondering, where is the song that you're working on for your feature? Like the song that I keep telling everybody I've been working on forever. It's literally in its infancy stages, but I'll share with you at least where it's at in its infancy stages. Right. Little Melodyne will fix that. Yeah, for sure. What's crazy is too, like that, my feature part, that all came like so quickly. It was crazy. All right. So rather, instead of solo, I'm going to mute the Vox because I don't have the words completely figured out yet, but this is kind of where I'm at. Super simple, by the way. As you can see, I'm trying, guys. I really am. I just recently finished what I feel like is going to be the bridge. And it's one of those things where the new friend, a hang drum. Yeah, so the song is coming along slowly because, like I said, I'm wanting to allow it to bloom. There's a few bass notes out of tune. I know. Eventually I'm going to actually have a bass player come on and help with this once I get and this is a good point because I talked about earlier how that some songs you know, you're kind of mixing it as you go, you're producing it as you go. This is one where I'm literally like mixing it and producing it as I go, because it's sort of unfolding. Like I still don't have all of the lyrics completely lined out or the parts. So I'm literally like allowing it to sort of, like I just said, bloom. I'm allowing it to sort of take shape on its own, which I think sometimes when you do that organically, it comes out a lot better than what you could have forced to happen. So I know in my head what I've the end result, the nice feel that I want to get out of this. But it's just a matter of trying to find that. So, and trying to get what's up here onto there. So, I do promise you though that I'm working on it, but I've also been working on some other projects too that's allowed me to sort of taking time away from this as well. So there's another, so you guys have probably heard the young people, we recorded a song with them at what's called the Ignite service. So this was a song put together all by young people, middle and high school age. They put a song together. We did a live recording of it. I mixed it. We've already got it released. It's called As Mercy Unfolds. An amazing song put together by young people. A beautiful, worshipful song that just, every time I hear it, like it brings a tear to my eye. It's just amazing. So this is a young lady that I've just recorded. She had a song that she had wrote. It's a solo song. She's thinking about adding more instruments to it, but she kind of likes the idea, like most people do when they first hear their song. They want it to be stripped back, and they're so used to hearing it with just them and the piano. Now, I'm not going to let you hear her vocals because her vocals are absolutely amazing, but she hasn't released this as of yet. But I do want you to hear this young lady's piano playing. She's 15 years old. Listen to this. Her voice is also, when you're able to hear this song, when it's finally released, it's going to blow you away. Her voice is so adult sounding. Gorgeous. Anywho, there was one more question that we had on here from our good friend Kagan. He says, Robert, how long did it take you to get as good as you are now? First and foremost, I don't feel like I am good. I'm just trying to do the best I can. What methods would you recommend for anyone who is beginning to learn audio engineering? So first and foremost, a large body of work is going to get you better than a new microphone, better than a new laptop, better than which by all means you need those things, but a large body of work, recording a lot, making a lot of mistakes, and finding yourself a good online mentor or in-person mentor would be even better. Someone that you could sit in the studio with and just tell them like, look, I don't need necessarily to be paid. I just want to sit here and watch. Like, let me just watch. A lot of times you can learn a lot of this stuff by osmosis, almost just by being in the room with individuals and getting to see like, why are they reaching for the compressor right now? Putting two and two together. And if they allow you to ask questions, that's awesome. Great online communities like this one is a great place to learn. But more so than anything, just doing the thing is, that whole 10,000 hours thing that I think it's Gordon Maxwell who said that, 10,000 hours and you can master anything. There's a lot of truth in that. And honestly, what has got me to the point that I am is just continually doing what I'm doing. And of course, I had a lot of great people that come up alongside me. When Wart Hewitt reached out and brought me on as a Pro Mix Academy mentor himself, I'm thinking, you're my mentor. I'm not even worthy to be called a mentor on your academy. But he did so, and it gave me a huge confidence boost, and it made me realize that I'm not as bad as what I thought I was. Am I mixing, big name artists? No, but I'm doing a lot of good for local talent. I'm doing a lot of good for people online who are sending me mixes and things like that. So there's definitely some intrinsic value in any of this. So before we end today, there is something else that we have to do. It's sort of a staple around here on the channel, and that is we got to spin the wheel of awesomeness. So that's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a first-timer here on the channel, my name is 𝗧𝗍 𝗧𝗵𝗀, bringing you the wheel of awesomeness. 𝗵𝗲 𝗪𝗀𝗧, thank you so much, because Robert, he's getting older. He's getting, and I got to correct him every once in a while. 𝗵𝗲 𝗪𝗀𝗧, Robert. He's coming back. Thanks for allowing me to help you to spin the wheel. All right, well, thanks, 𝗧𝗍 𝗧𝗵𝗀, which happens to also be sort of my alter ego on here whenever we spin the wheel. So if this is your first time here, what this is basically about is we spin the wheel, and wherever the wheel lands, that's what we do. So without further ado, as I'm trying to find the spin the wheel button and stalling hopelessly here. Here it is. Okay. Let's spin the wheel. All right. A song feature. All right, ladies and gentlemen. The way that this works is I'm going to put something here in the chat here in just but a second. I have to kind of prepare it here. But what you're going to do is you're going to type in ! capital H, capital S, capital S. This will give you the ability to enter into a drawing. And once I can get it to work right, I didn't even have the drawing yet, and people are already winning. That's weird. Sorry, 𝗧𝗍𝗃, that's not correct. We actually did not have any of the winnings yet because we haven't actually had the. Okay, I'm just gonna have to open this in my browser because it's definitely not wanting to work. We will get to spin the wheel, I guarantee it though. Actually, while we're waiting on the song feature access here, let's go ahead and spin the wheel again. Why not? Oh, I closed the window down so that I can't. Where's 𝗧𝗍 𝗧𝗵𝗀 when you need him? 𝗧𝗍, can you come back and fix this? All right, ladies and gentlemen, 𝗧𝗍 𝗧𝗵𝗀 coming back to fix Robert's stupidity. That's right, he's an idiot. So I'm here to fix the wheel of awesomeness. It's landed on a song feature. Normally what we would do is we would already have the chat bot helping you to get the song feature going. But unfortunately, Robert just doesn't know what he's doing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to try and start it all over again. There we go. We've got the giveaway started, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you just simply put into the chat, capital H, capital S, capital S, you will be able to enter into the drawing. There we go. All right. Thanks, DJ. And 𝗧𝗍𝗃. Now that they've re-entered. Thank you guys for re-entering. And my apology that you guys were removed from a giveaway that hadn't even started yet. So essentially, the way that this works is the Streamlabs bot will come up and it'll say a song feature giveaway has started. Use capital capital H, capital S to enter now. Only open for 3 minutes. You got to put an exclamation point in front of that, Kev. There you go. Link the Great is in. Clayton Von Kluge is in. We have 23 seconds left because the shot clock was actually moved down. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, DJ Big Red 81, Clayton Von Kluge, and Link the Great are all entered to win a song feature. We have 10 seconds left, folks. Exclamation point, capital H, capital S, capital S. Kev, capital H, capital S, capital S. You've got HHS. Oh. All right, we're going to choose a winner. And the winner is, ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Link the Great. All right, Link, how this works is super simple. Now that you've been selected as a song contest, as a song feature winner, rather, what you're going to do is you're just going to email me at homestudiosimplified@gmail.com. Send me an MP3 file of the song that you would like me to feature here on the channel. The next time we go live, which is usually every Tuesday at 5, 4, somewhere around there, usually 4 or 5, we will play that song here on the channel and everyone will get a chance to hear it. So, and I say every Tuesday, but here lately it's not even been that, because last Tuesday I actually had a meeting at the Jackson County Drug-Free Council. I'm actually got nominated, haven't been chosen yet, but I got nominated to be on the board there. So I might even become a board member, whatever that means. Basically trying to help our community, our county, to become drug-free, which is a great endeavor that I'm very passionate about. So if you actually click the little bell icon on the channel after you subscribe, wink, wink, that will actually notify you too, or at least it's supposed to. With most people, it has been. With some people, it has not. But it will notify you when we're going live. And I try to usually leave the live, like, lead-in video going for a little bit so it allows people time to get on. Also, if you're a member of the Discord chat, the Discord channel, the Discord group, whatever you want to call it, I usually will post the link to the video in there before we go live as well. Cool? All right. Well, I love each and every one of you. I thank you all so much for being on. Oh, wow. Clayton has been sober since 2018 or 2019. Dude, that is amazing. Absolutely phenomenal. So yes, that's awesome. I am 20, or I'm sorry, I wish I was 21. I am 41 today. I was 21 when God completely changed my life, and I've been sober since that day, August 17th. I've been sober since that day. So I've been 20 years free and clean myself. So very cool. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hopping on today. I hope that I was able to answer some of your questions. We do have these quite a bit. So if you have questions in the meantime, feel free to write them in email form if you want to make sure that they get answered, or you can always hop on these live streams and ask them live to get instant feedback. I love each and every one of you. I know I've said that more than once on this live stream, but I really mean that. And I don't think people, I really don't think people tell each other they love each other enough these days. There's nothing wrong with telling people that you love them. Love is the answer that this world is looking for. All right. Until next time, remember that we can dream alone, we can even create alone, but together we can achieve so much more. God bless you guys. Until next time, bye-bye.